Hey everybody, Edo here, and this is Cosmic Run Regeneration by Dr. Finn's Games, live on Kickstarter now. And I actually did a preview for the original Cosmic Run, and I loved it, both because of the game, but because Steve worked with his son on the game, and I liked it because it took Biblios and added a cool theme and urgency and all these great gamer things to it. And I was like, well, your son might be onto something. This is essentially a refinement expansion of the game. It's not really an expansion so much as adjusted rules, tweaked values, bigger board. There are a number of different things. I'm sure the Kickstarter will lay it out, but it's like a take two on the games, which is cool because I really dig this game. And certainly if you haven't heard of Cosmic Run or played the original, it's very cool. This is essentially a dice rolling and manipulation game where players are trying to work their way up different tracks to, which were different cards in the previous one, but different tracks to save these planets. A ship needs to get to the planet to put up a shield because there are meteors coming. The thing I like about this game the most is the fact that there's this impending sense of doom and urgency on these planets of when they're going to explode and how scoring is going to work. You flip over a meteor card every turn, and there's a couple misses, but generally speaking, it's got numbers on them. Goes to the first planet 2, take a look, and that planet is, if it doesn't have an asteroid, it gets one. And when it gets hit a third time, it explodes. If it gets defended, it's removed as well. And so essentially, as planets are taking off, you then work down the card to hit subsequent planets. So everybody's gonna blow. And so as players, you're trying to work up the tracks. Everyone gets one of their units and one of the different tracks, and you're gonna do this by doing different types of dice sets or dice sets. What would you call it? Different types of, well, like, here, let me just explain it. This one's looking for single pips. If you take a die and you use a single pip die, you can move up that track one spot. This one's looking for pairs, like poker hands. One spot, 3 of a kind, 4 of a kind, Yahtzee, I don't know, 5 of a kind, or just the number values. The thing is, the way the game works is you're gonna start your turn, you're gonna roll all your dice, and then you can use as many of your dice as you want. If I got 5 of a kind, I could put 5 down, or if I just wanted to use a single pip. But once I've made that decision, I then, however many dice I am going to use, I then have to re-roll everything else. So it has this nice push your luck dynamic where you're thinking about your roll and what you're going to do next and how that's going to work and whether or not you want to re-roll something or not, that kind of thing. At the same time, beyond just the planet tracks, you have the ability to hire crew, and they have different races and different abilities for manipulating dice or victory points or whatever. At the end of the game, or as you move along, you can also retire them. If you can only have 5 at a time, so if you want to clear your hand, and you get victory points for retiring them in different sets. Or you can invest in your mining operation or whatever, and get rid of a die to earn a gem, and as you spend gems, you can re-roll or dice manipulation, that kind of thing. So you're sort of managing your pool of dice, figuring out how to make the best decisions, etc. It's a little different than Biblios Dice, which is also fantastic. In Biblios Dice, the dice pool is rolling around and sort of this dice drafting thing, which I loved. Here's a little bit more solo. You're rolling your dice, you're doing your dice turn, so you can wait a little bit. The pacing's a little bit different than in Biblios Dice, but it still moves pretty quickly, and I feel like on your turn you're making a number of interesting decisions. Another cool element is for the cooperative play, which works very well. Steve added a number of sort of player action cards that give them unique abilities, and that then becomes a cooperation to save all the planets before they blow. And since you don't know where the asteroids are going to hit, you sort of have to roll with the asteroids, and that's what makes this game feel much more dynamic than I think many games do. There's this sense of impending doom at different locations. There's a solo version. I haven't played it, but I can imagine that it would be great. But I haven't played it, and I think if you've never seen or heard of Cosmic Run or Cosmic Run Regeneration, it's really worth checking out. I think it's a well-done, well-crafted game. If you did buy Cosmic Run, that's an interesting question. I reviewed it, but I never had a final copy, so I didn't see the final production value. I assume it was pretty good, though I like the inclusion of the full board here. I like the layout. I think the tweaks are really good. So if you loved Cosmic Run, definitely think you should go check this out as well. If you liked it to didn't like it, I don't know. I don't think this game's suddenly very different. It's got very much the same feel of that game, so you can use that as a point. But if you haven't, or you've played Biblios Dice and didn't really like the way the dice moved around the table, that would be a good example of why this might be a cool game to check out. So this is Cosmic Run. Hey everybody, Edo here, and thanks for watching Gaming with Edo. Reviews over here on this playlist, League and Insider videos over here on this one. Subscribe, share, all that good stuff. But most importantly, play some great games. Thanks.